whiskey-based, swallowed, and tried to will himself to remain ramrodded at attention. No one would notice how sloshed he was if he just kept his mouth closed and his whiskey breath sealed off. His head ached. His wounds ached. He had a stupid feeling that he might grin. "Yes, sir, First Sergeant Swagger," said the President. "You are the best this country ever brought forth." The President seemed to blink back a genuine tear. Then he removed a golden star from a jeweler's box held by a lieutenant colonel, stepped forward, and as he did so unfurled the star's garland of ribbon. Since he was smallish and Earl at 6'1" was largish, he had to stretch almost to tippy-toes to loop the blue about Earl's bull neck. The Medal of Honor dangled on the front of Earl's dress blue tunic, suspended on its ribbon next to the ribbons of war displayed across his left breast, 5 battle stars, his Navy Cross, his unit citations, and his Good Conduct Medal. 3 service stripes dandied up his lower sleeves. A flashbulb popped, its effect somewhat confusing Earl, making him think ever so briefly of the Nambu tracers, which were white-blue, unlike our red tracers. A Marine captain solemnized the moment by reading the citation. "For gallantry above and beyond the call of duty, First Sergeant Earl Lee Swagger, Able Company, 1st Battalion, 28th Marines, 5th Marine Division, is awarded the Medal of Honor for actions on Iwo Jima D+3 at Charlie Dog Ridge, February 22, 1945. Behind the President, Earl could see Howland Mad Smith and Harry Schmidt, the 2 Marine generals who had commanded the boys at Iwo, and next to them James Forrestal, Secretary of the Navy, and next to him Earl's own pretty, if wan, wife, Earla June, in a flowered dress, beautiful as ever, but slightly overwhelmed by all this. It wasn't the greatness of the men around her that scared her. It was what she saw still in her husband's heart. The President seized his hand and pumped it, and a polite smattering of applause arose in the map room, as it was called, though no maps were to be seen, but only a lot of old furniture, as in his daddy's house. The applause seemed to play off the walls and paintings and museum-like hugeness of the place. It was July 30th, 1946. The war was over almost a year. Earl was no longer a Marine. His knee hardly worked at all, and his left wrist ached all the time, both of which had been struck by bullets. He still had close to 30 pieces of metal in his body. He had a pucker like a mortar crater on his ass, the canal. He had another pucker in his chest, just above his left nipple, Tarawa, the long walk in through the surf, the Japs shooting the whole way. He worked in the sawmill outside Fort Smith as a section foreman. Sooner or later, he would lose a hand or an arm. Everyone did. "So, what's next for you, First Sergeant?" asked the President. "Staying in the Corps? I hope so." "No, sir. Hit too many times. My left arm don't work so good." "Damn, hate to lose a good man like you. Anyhow, there's plenty of room for you. This country's going to take off, you just watch. Just like the man said, you ain't seen nothing yet, no sir, and by God. Now we enter our greatness, and I know you'll be there for it. You fought hard enough." "Yes, sir," said Earl, too polite to disagree with a man he admired so fervently, the man who'd fried the Jap cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki and saved 100,000 American boys in the process. But disagree he did. He couldn't go back to school on this thing they called the GI Bill. He just couldn't. He could have no job selling or convincing. He could not teach because the young were so stupid and he had no patience, not anymore. He couldn't work for a man who hadn't been in the war. He couldn't be a policeman because the policemen were like his daddy, bullies with clubs who screamed too much. The world, so wonderful to so many, seemed to have made no place in it for him. "By the way," said the President, leaning forward, "that bourbon you're drinking smells fine to me. I don't blame you. Too many idiots around to get through the day without a sip or two. This is the idiot capital of the world, let me tell you. If I didn't have to meet with some committee or other, I'd say come on up to the office, bring your pint, and let's have a spell of sippin'." He gave Earl another handshake.